Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for stopping back by the channel. Appreciate you being here. We'll go ahead and jump right into today's content. Today, I want to talk about what I saw as this is a list that I've come up with, in my opinion, the top 5 reasons that new COs, new corrections officers, walk off the job. Now, there are many different reasons. Everybody has their own individual reason. I noticed that they seem to fall into very similar categories, and I saw a lot of these very early on in the job. So I want to bring these to light, mention them, and hope that anybody who's thinking about hiring on in this job or has hired on and is enjoying these videos doesn't fall into one of these categories and can make TDCJ a meaningful career. Now, this list is by no means inclusive. It's simply my own opinion. It's the ones that I saw, and it's not even ranked from top to bottom. I'm just going off of memory here and recalling the main ones that I saw throughout. Sorry for the distraction there. Today is the best that I've felt in the last week. I'm so glad to be feeling better, and I'm making one of the cardinal sins that a lot of new YouTubers do. I'm not being consistent with the time frame of my videos, meaning I'm not making them every 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Sometimes I'll go a week without one, and now here I think I've put them out once every day for the last 3 days. If that bothers anybody, I'm sorry. I make the content as I feel up to it, and I make it off the top of my head. So, let's not dilly daddle anymore. Let's get right into it. Number one reason that new COs walk off the job, number one, quitting during the academy. One of the things that you're going to notice when you're in the academy, by the time you get to your 4th week, so COs are paid once a month on a monthly basis. That's with any state job in Texas. State troopers, nurses, teachers, COs paid once a month. So the day that you hire on is the day that your pay and benefits will start. Now, you won't see any pay and benefits for the first 4 weeks. Within that 4 weeks, you'll have had your first unit tour. At least we did back in 2013. You would have your first unit tour and your first exposure to the penitentiary. A lot of times, individuals, that was their wake up call, their reality check that prison, penitentiary, inmates, offenders, they're not what you see on TV. Nothing on TV can prepare you for walking into a penitentiary. And this wasn't even a maximum security penitentiary. It was a receiving and transfer unit, a holiday unit, affectionately called the Holiday Inn. If you're curious about that one, it's in a previous video with my Academy Chronicles. So, once that 4th week hits, around the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, depending on when the weekend hit, that's when you would get your first paycheck. What I noticed in my academy class, there were at least 10 to 15 other, I guess you call them COs, recruits, cadets, whichever. There were at least 10 to 15 employees that didn't return for work, and we never saw them again. Come to find out, it's not uncommon at all for individuals to hire on, get that first paycheck, and after they're exposed to the reality, they're no longer on the job. Didn't even make it to reporting to the actual unit. So you're going to see that. Number 2, low pay. Now, that goes without saying, any introductory kind of job is not going to pay the best. It's going to take time to work up to it, to build up to it. 12-hour units, you work some long days. There can be some thankless days, and at the end of the month, what I noticed, when you see that paycheck roll in and you think it should be X number and it's not X number, then a lot of COs get to thinking, is this really what I want to do with myself for the next X number of years? Now, there are a lot of benefits that come with it, as I spoke of in a previous video: free uniforms, haircuts, laundry, free food, the medical care, steady job. There's never layoffs. The people that leave, they typically leave on their own accord, or they were involved in a situation that led them to getting walked off to the unit. I'll do a whole other cast on those situations. So, coming in at number 2, low pay. Number 3, expectations of the job just didn't match up. Everybody hires on for their own individual reasons. Some hire on for the pay and benefits. Some hire on with a true belief. I don't say this jokingly at all. I mean this in all seriousness. Some hire on with the actual expectation that they are making a difference in the criminal justice system. They're helping keep offenders behind bars, out of society where they're supposed to be removed. I mean that in a captions kind of sense. Thought process that individuals are having. That they truly believe that they're making a difference in society. Others, let's just go ahead and face it, they tried out to be police officers and it didn't work out for them for one reason or another. They had to resort to corrections. It is unfortunate. It's within the hiring process that it's much easier to hire on as corrections than it is to be a police officer. That's just the nature of the job. So individuals get in thinking that the job's going to be one thing. They get into it and they quickly realize it's not at all what they thought it was going to be. It can be very meticulous, very much offender-sided, offender-orient based, meaning the politics and the policies are more there for the offenders than they are the CO. And you either deal with it and move on with the job, or they quickly realize very early on it's just not at all what they thought it was going to be and just can't deal with it. Coming in at number 4, assaults. There are a lot of assaults. I don't necessarily mean assaults from offenders to staff. I'm talking about offender to offender as well. You'll be working on the yard, or you're working in a picket, or you're working in the building, and an assault can pop off at any time. No warning whatsoever. Now, within the inmate society, within their culture, it's probably brewed for quite a while. Guy lives in this cell. He's tired of what's going on down in this cell over here. They've either been bickering or bantering back and forth. It's been boiling up. It's been bubbling. CO's been off for 4 days. Comes to work on their Monday. Doesn't matter what day of the week it is. The first day that you report into work, that's your Monday. Doesn't matter if it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Your 4th day, that's your Friday. That's when you're getting ready to start your weekend. Again, doesn't matter what day of the week it is. CO comes in on their Monday, and within 30 minutes of the shift, counts cleared, offenders are moving around in the day room, fight breaks out. It's 7:45 in the morning. You're wondering what in the world is going on. Seemed like it was just completely, absolutely random, and it wasn't. It had been building for quite a while, and a lot of times you're going to have to resort to using, just in the penitentiary they always call it gas, but you're going to have to use, technical term, your oleoresin capsaicin spray or your OC pepper spray. 10% oleoresin capsaicin, the rest of it's going to be water based. You shake the canister up, spray the individual, the scent goes everywhere. It affects your eyes, your nose, mouth, your skin. It's an irritant. It's nasty stuff. So once you end up spraying the individuals, you get the fight broke up, you end up having to cuff up the individual. There's probably going to be blood everywhere. Blood's going to be on the floor. The inmate that you're walking with, that you're trying to assist, they're going to be sweaty, nasty, stanky. So's the CO. because you're wearing those long sleeve shirts. It's going to be overstarched from laundry. And once you deal with the first one, it can be a rush. There's that big adrenaline rush. Once you get to about your fifth or sixth one, it kind of starts to get a little bit old. You're coming on the shift and you're going, God, why can't you guys just not do this for a shift? That's offender on offender. Offender on staff, it happens. Typically, it's going to happen because the staff member has either offended the offender in some way, shape, or form, or in my case, you enforce the rules way too much, and they don't like that. They don't like it when you enforce the rules by the book. They're going to call them petty charges, chicken S-word charges, other words that I can't say on YouTube because I have my content cleaned up, but they're going to call you all kind of B word and H words. You can use your imagination what those means for charges that you're going to write up. And they're going to get tired of it. And assault on a staff is a pretty egregious charge for an offender. So they're going to use what's called a crash dummy. They're going to enlist one of the offenders, one that you don't know, who isn't involved in anything, and they're going to pay this individual. Or if they're not going to pay him, they're going to extort him in one way or another. And that when you walk on the pod, it's going to be during count or some other time. Offender going to walk right up to you, or you're going to walk right past the offender. He's going to slap the taste out of your mouth. Slap's going to come right across. He's going to turn around and either put his hands against the wall or put his hands right behind his back. It's called a TDCJ drive-by. If you get hit and that offender turns around and gets ready to cuff up, if you take him down to the ground, or if you spray him, or you assault him in any way, shape, or form, when he's standing there doing nothing, that's excessive force. That will cost you your job. You can plead your case all you want to. It's been done many times. It's gone to higher courts. If you're assaulted and the assault stops, you cannot retaliate. That's retaliation. That's excessive force. Offenders know this. They do it all the time. I saw it happen so many times with partners that I worked with. The other time, you're going to get assaulted and it's just going to be bad. It's for whatever reason. Offender's going to have a beef against you. They're going to lock you up in a hold, fall down, and just start rolling around on the ground. Hopefully the buddies don't jump in. Hopefully you get some help pretty soon. Hopefully you're able to gain control of the situation. But that concrete floor is pretty hard, and a head against a concrete floor is pretty soft. Offenders know how to use that as weapons. When you get assaulted and you get tore up and uniforms messed up, you don't get the next day off. You'll go to medical, get checked out, get to the end of the shift, go home, come back the next day. If it went bad and if the offender won, it's just going to be that much harder. And it's only going to take so much longer, as I saw. It only takes so much longer before the officer gets tired of coming in and dealing with that situation, and then they walk off the job. Number 5, and probably the most heated topic, and one of the more underrated but real topics, the lack of air conditioning at TDCJ. Now everyone can say, oh Jesse, they don't deserve amenities, none of this and that. I'm not here to debate that. It is what it is. What I am here to say is that while the offender is sitting there with their shirt off when they're not supposed to, when they're sitting there with their shirt off in the day room, chilling, doing whatever, playing dominoes, they don't have playing cards, playing dominoes, playing a board game, bosses are the ones walking around in them starched uniforms with those long sleeves, checking out sales, taking count, moving things around, carrying stuff, doing the job. It's hot. You will pour sweat. Your uniform will be absolutely drenched by the end of a shift in July and August. I can't make light of it enough. It's just bad. Some videos, some COs are going to say, drink water, suck it up, get used to it, acclimate to it. I'm sorry. there's more to it than that. You can either deal with it or you can't. And I know of a lot of officers that hire on older, ones that are a little bit larger, more heavy set, slower moving, ones that might have some arthritis in their knee, something to that nature, having to climb stairs, move up and down tiers, move inmates around. When the heat sets in, and it will, it makes it absolutely dreadful. I don't really want to sound too melodramatic on a lot of these. I just wanted to cover, my opinion, top 5 reasons that I saw COs walking off the job. I hope that this video was enjoyed. One of the tidbits that I want to add to this video, one that I talked about earlier on, one of the questions that was asked was, what kind of name tags did we wear, and do I still have the name tags? I went through and dug back through some archives. I do have them. Now, I don't have the one that was issued by the state. However, I have the 2 that I wore. First one we have here is just a plain generic one. And like I talked about, as I called them, the dammits, they're the backings. And it just pins into your shirt and it's held in place. It's metal, gold imprint, yellow in color, black lettering. Got it. The other one that I had, when I talked about that I had real intricately done, and my name, CO3, my pay grade, Texas Lone Star, and then this is just an attachment. Back here, where the little backings are, these come off. That can remove. It's got a bunch of different holes in it, so it fits all different kinds of name tags. And you just find whichever holes that it fits in the best, and there you have it. All right, and I'm gonna show you guys one trick that can make you look sharper in uniform. Got just a basic shirt, just any kind of button-up shirt. So you line up the name tag over the pocket. Okay. Press the prongs through. All right. Put your backings on it, and now you're ready to go, shirt-wise. But see how much room there is in that? I'm sorry, I'm trying to do this as best I can. But how it flops, kind of hangs and dangles. It's droopy. All right. To fill that in, one of the things we learned in the military, any kind of filler. This is a piece of washcloth. You can use cardboard, anything. Slide it on the prongs itself. Okay, see, we got that right there. Only took a second. Put your dammits on, and what it's done, it's filled in that space. So now the name tag, so it's a lot more flush with the shirt. Doesn't flop around as much. That's the metal hitting the back of my hand right there. Okay, it looks a lot sharper. It's not saggy and droopy and floopy, if that's even a word. So it fills in that space. So that's a little trick that you can do to make your name tag look a little bit more professional if you're into that. The other thing that I always wore, I had this little, sorry, everything's backwards on the camera. It's a little flag pin. It's got the little backings on it. You don't have to, it's not required. Some supervisors are probably going to tell you it's not allowed. Technically it's not. I wore it anyway. I just pin it on above my name tag, and I had a back, see how it wants to kind of hang and droop a little bit. If I had a backing on it, it would be fresh and flush with it. But that was how I was seen, with my name, my rank, my time in service, my flag patch. I tried to make it look like, and I did at the time, I was a good CO. I wanted to make it look like I actually cared about what I was doing. And one of the ways you do that is the appearance that you put off on yourselves. That sends a word out that, hey, I care about what I'm doing. I'm here to do a job. I take it seriously. Some of your fellow COs are going to respect that. Some, they're going to be like, this guy is just trying to show off. He wants to make rank. She wants to make rank, trying to climb the ladder, and they're going to disrespect you for that. Inmates, they're going to do the same thing. They're either going to leave you alone, knowing that you're going to be a somebody in the agency, or they're going to have the attitude, shit, man, we got to get this MFer out of here. We got to get him out of here as quick as we can. He's going to write us up for anything. And that was the reputation that I walked around with myself, because I did my job. I don't want to keep anybody any longer, folks. I really hope y'all appreciated this video. Top 5 reasons COs walk off the job, and how to properly wear your name tag with the backing on the shirt. If you got any questions about where the name tags came from, I can hook you up with that. Any questions about anything in general, please feel free to post them, comment down below. If you didn't like what you saw, comment away on that as well. I love any kind of content, any kind of comments, any kind of views. Everyone take care of yourselves. Look forward to seeing y'all in the next video.